Hey everyone, Pete Calandra here. Today's video is part one of a two-part series where I demonstrate in context how I use pitched percussion to create some complex rhythmic effects. By pitched percussion, I mean instruments like xylophone, glockenspiel, marimba, harp, piano, things of that nature. To demonstrate these techniques, we'll go over a couple of sections from two short film scores I recently completed. If you like this video, give a thumbs up. For more content, please subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these techniques, or if you have any techniques that you'd like to share. Thanks so much for watching, and let's get right into it. On our first example, we have a lighter orchestral piece. As far as the notation here, I've got the pitched percussion, Glock, xylophone, marimba, harp, una Corda Piano, and I also added in some Spicatto Low Strings. So we're going to take it from a few measures before the part that I want to talk about. Let's take a listen. We're starting right here, and we've got all five of the pitched percussion working together, and we also have something that's essential to this in the spiccato strings, low spiccato strings. We'll go from the highest pitch down. We've got this Glock right here, and it's basically playing a one measure figure, a descending scale, and that's the melodic content, so let's solo that. This figure is a descending scale fragment, filling in a fifth. We have the C sharp added in. The piece is in G. The C sharp gives us a Lydian feel, which is kind of nice in this section. Now we will listen to the xylophone with that and talk about that afterwards. So what the xylophone is doing, now we're in 4/4 time, but the xylophone is playing a 3-beat figure from here to here, and then it repeats, and then it repeats again. So the effect of this is that the first time through, the figure starts on the downbeat. The second time through, it starts on beat 4. The third time through, it starts on beat 3. Then it starts on beat 2, and then it ends back starting on beat 1. In the third measure. So we're basically superimposing 3/4 time signature against the 4/4 time signature. Now we've got the marimba below that, and I think I'm just going to solo the marimba and then add the xylophone and glock back in so we can hear that. Now, when you hear it out in the open, it sounds like this is the downbeat. And you've got a figure that goes dum, 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 dum. But it's starting on the second eighth note. So I've displaced this 1/8 note later from the downbeat. Now let's add back in the glock and the xylophone and take a listen to that aggregate. Now the effect is that you have this top line here, which is very definitely in 4/4. This middle line is in 3/4 with the figure starting a beat earlier every time through in the measure. This is a 4/4 feel, but it's displaced 1/8 note later. Now let's take a listen to the harp part. This is sort of doing the opposite of what the top line is doing. It's an ascending figure filling in that fifth, twice as fast. It's 16th notes as opposed to 8th notes. It is also one bar long, the phrase, but it's broken up so that there really should be a G here, but for some reason I started at a 16th note later. But this one starts, let's say there was a G here. It starts on the downbeat, then it starts on the second 16th note, then the third 16th note, and then we wait because we've changed the rhythmic value here, and then we start here. So this gives us like another rhythmic feel. And let's play that against the xylophone. And now let's add in the marimba. So it really helps to disguise where the downbeat is. It gives you this sort of swirling feel where you don't really know where the measure starts and where the measure ends. Below that, we have the una Corda Piano, and let's listen to that. I didn't add the Glock in. I'll do that in a second. So what we have here is the top line is doubling the Glock. So we'll add the Glock back in and take a listen. I really like the combination of any kind of piano playing a melody with a Glock or orchestra bells. I really love that texture, and I use it quite often. The other thing that's going on here is that there is, if we look interstitially at this piano part, we have G, D, D, G, D. Boot-up, ba-doot-up, 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 that kind of a figure. That gives us another rhythmic feel, right, where every beat is being accented. On the second measure of this figure, I also change what's happening on the lower voice of this part. So instead of it being G, D, D, G, like it is on this measure, we're going from G to D. There is a D here, but I've also added an A, and instead of on beat 2 landing squarely on that, I land on the second 16th note of beat 2, and then that follows up with there being a B on the third 16th note, and then the D comes back in. The scale continues down to A to G. So we have this G, A, B, A, G. So let's take a listen to that again with that in mind. So we're getting a rhythmic feel that's like right? That kind of a thing, which is really, again, just sort of hiding where the beat is. You know, you can feel the pulse, but just hiding things a little bit and making it a little bit more swirling. And then below that, there is a bass part right here. Let's take a listen to that. Here, I avoid the tonic on the downbeat. You can actually think of this D as the conclusion of this ascending figure here. It starts on the second 16th note with this figure. So again, disguising the downbeat and another line here, F sharp, E, D, F sharp, E, D, right? F sharp, E, D. And so it's just another way to just sort of add more complexity to this and more motion to this. Now, if we listen to this with the xylophone, and we can keep the Glockenspiel in there. That really gives us the Lydian feel because the xylophone is emphasizing the C sharp with a G in it, and this is emphasizing the F sharp with a lot of Gs. Okay, let's listen to the entire passage again. That's the end of part 1. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be up with part 2 next week. It's already been filmed. I just need to edit it and do the intro. So again, Please like, subscribe, share, leave comments down below. I've been Pete Calandra. Thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.